guys. Hey, so I got some feedback from several of you guys, and it was in regards to today's assignment that you guys were doing that slideshow. And there were the question wasn't necessarily on like where you guys had like the table of data for you guys to see if x was 0, what the y value was, and if the y value is 0, then you have something that's proportional. If it is not anything but 0, then you got a y-intercept, so it's non-proportional. The tables were fine. The actual like pictures, the graphs where you guys had like the lines for you guys to be able to see like if it goes through the origin, simple. The problems that you guys had was on the ones that had the equations, where you have the equations and how do you know if it's proportional or not proportional. So I already did number 3 with you guys in my video earlier, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to add. So if you guys look at this, you guys will be able to see me add in the questions from, I'm going to scooch this over so you guys can see my board. The questions from number 6. So let's like look at number 6, and then I think there was another question on number 11. So I'm going to do number 6 with you guys really quick, and then I'll do number 11. Number 6, you guys have this equation. Here's A. A looks like this. 0 equals y plus 2x. Okay, so our goal is to get these so that it says y equals mx plus b. And what I want you guys to recognize is that I want you guys to recognize that this y doesn't always have to be on the left-hand side. Be careful about that. In math, sometimes they'll like try to throw something at you, but it doesn't matter. If you're saying 4 equals 4, you can put that 4 on either side, so you can flip-flop this. Another way to write this would be mx plus b equals y. So all they did for this one is they put the y on the right-hand side. The very first thing that you guys are going to want to do, you're going to think to yourself that these are solved for y. We got y all by itself. There's nothing surrounding the y. The y is isolated. It says y equals something. This says y, 0 equals y plus 2x. So we got this little 2x piece. We don't need that 2x piece. That 2x piece is not, it's with the y, and it's not isolating that y. Since it says plus 2x, what I am going to do is I'm going to subtract the 2x. Now remember what I said earlier, if you subtract 2x from one side, we got to subtract 2x from the other side to keep it equal. So I'm going to subtract 2x from this side. So when I come down below, the plus 2x minus 2x is going to be gone. I now have it say y equals. On this side, I have minus 2x, and then I still have like that plus 0. And you don't even have to write this. You guys don't have to write the plus 0. But remember what I said earlier. What I said earlier was you're looking, the value that's with the x, you're not worried about. That one, I don't care. I'm looking to see what's the y-intercept. If the y-intercept equals 0, I have something that's proportional. So look over here. You guys are able to recognize right here what that b is. b equals 0. Since b equals 0, in this one, I have a being proportional. Since a is proportional, that is not the answer, though. If you look at the slide number 6, it is saying which one shows a non-proportional relationship. So a is proportional. So I'm going to leave a alone. We're going to go through a couple more of these so you guys can see me solving these for y, okay? So we have x minus 3y equals 0 for letter B. This is B. Now again, I'm trying to get this so it says y equals mx plus b. And notice that that x value is always first too. That's super helpful. Okay, to solve this for y, to get y all by itself, I have an x sitting here and I have this 3 that's sitting here. Whenever you guys are doing any solving like this and you guys are trying to isolate this, you're going to work in the opposite order of operations. And you guys probably remember x PEMDAS. You guys are going to do parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, addition, subtraction. You're going to go in the opposite order of all of that. So we're always going to remove addition, subtraction first, then multiplication or division last. So the first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to look at this and you see this x that's sitting here. And that x is like a 1x. It's like a plus 1x. I'm going to subtract that x off. So I'm going to get rid of the x first. You're always going to get rid of that variable sitting in front of the y last. So the x minus the x is going to disappear from that side, which is good. I got to get it moved to the other side so I can get y by itself. Bring down the minus 3y, and on this side I have minus x plus the 0. There we go. So minus x plus 0. I still have this -3 sitting over here. So that -3 is like a times. -3 times y. To undo times, I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Remember what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side to keep them equal. So -3 divided by -3 is going to undo. I'm going to have y equals negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive. This is like a 1 that's sitting there. So I get a positive 1 over 3x. And then 0 divided by any number is just 0. Well, since this b equals 0, this is proportional. So that is not my answer. You should not have selected b. B is not the solution. All right, we're going to do another one. I'm going to do another process of solving for y. We're going to go through and look at c. C says 3x minus 2y equals 5. All right, I'm going to follow the exact same process. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move those x's. That's like a plus 3x, so I'm going to minus 3x's from both sides. So the plus 3x minus 3x is gone. Bring straight down the minus 2y equals, and then on this side, I'm going to have the minus 3x plus 5. Now, the reason I wrote the minus 3x first is because in y equals mx plus b form, the x is always written first. So I'm going to write that x first and then bring down the 5. Minus 3x, and this was a plus 5. It's really helpful, you guys, right now if you start looking at addition and subtraction as positive and negatives. That's kind of why we practice subtracting integers. When you guys got like that minus minus, it turns into a plus. I want you guys to start thinking about minuses and pluses as positives and negatives. So bringing down the negative and bringing with the positive with that and bringing down the negative. Now my last part here is to get rid of this -2. There's a times it's here. To undo the times, I'm going to divide both sides by -2. -2 divided by -2 is going to undo, which is what I want. I get y equals a negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, and I got 3 divided by 2, x. And then over here I got a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative, and that's 5 over 2. So that's how you got to make sure that when you divide on this side too, you guys, that you divide this one and you divide this one. There's 2 terms over there. So since I have 2 terms over there, I got to make sure I divide that one and this one by the -2. And that positive divided by a negative gives me a negative. 5 divided by 2 is 5 divided by 2. So now this looks like y equals mx plus b. The intercept just negative. Since there is a b equals -5 over 2, this one is the one that is non-proportional. So this should have been your answer for number 6. Number 6, your answer should have been C. And then here's what's really cool is when you guys actually jump down and you guys look at D, what D says. D actually says y equals 5x. Well, this one was already in y equals mx plus b. There is no b. So b in this case would equal 0. So this one would be proportional. So this one is not the answer. I do not want you guys to choose D for number 6. Now, honestly, number 6 really wasn't the one that gave so many of you guys problems. I want to say the biggest question that came up was number 11. So I actually had quite a few of you guys that jumped on today, and you guys asked me about number 11. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do number 11 with you guys. Just a few more examples. Good to get in your guys' notes. Be prepared. These will be on your guys' quiz come next Thursday. So you guys want to make sure that you feel confident about doing this process. So we have 5y. This is A. It says 5y minus 4x equals 9. And this one you guys are looking for proportional. So what that means, the very first thing you guys want to make sure is just read the directions. If it's proportional, you're going to have a b that's going to equal 0. So what you guys are going to want is you guys are going to want to find where your guys' y-intercept is 0 on this one. So to solve this for y, it's got all this junk around it. It's got a 5 and it's got a minus 4x. You're always going to move those x's first. So I'm going to start off, and instead of minus 4x, I'm going to plus 4x to both sides to keep that equal. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So the minus 4x plus 4x gone. I'm going to bring this 5y straight down. On this side, I'm going to choose to write the plus 4x to begin with. Now, you can write a little plus sign in front of that, but it's understood to be positive already. This is a positive 9, so I'm going to put that plus 9 on this side. Now, I'm not completely finished. The last thing I got to do is get rid of this 5 times, right? So this is a 5 times y. To get rid of that times, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is going to give me just that 1y. And then I got to look at both pieces. I can't just leave it like this. I got to divide this term by 5 and then this term by 5. So that is a positive divided by a positive. So I get 4/5 x. And then this is 9 divided by 5, and that's a positive, so 9 divided by 5. This has a b. b equals 9 over 5. Since it has a b, this one is non-proportional. This one's non-proportional. So that is not my answer. It's looking, it wants me to find the proportional one. This is the one, this is not the answer, okay? So that's A. Now we're going to jump and we're going to look at what B looks like to see if we can find that proportional one. So B says 4x equals 5y. Now remember what I said, it doesn't matter which side the y's on. The y can be on the left or it can be on the right. The goal is to get the y by itself. So this says 5 times y. So to undo the times, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is going to give me my 1y. Over here, this is just 4 divided by 5x, right? So when I look at this, I can see my y equals, and remember you can flip this, so it says mx plus b equals y. It doesn't matter which way you write that. I can see that when I look at this, the value for my slope is 4/5. The b equals 0. There is no y-intercept. So since b equals 0, B should be my proportional one. This is the happy one. This one is the one where my intercept is 0. So what you guys are really kind of spying for is you're really looking at that value that's not attached to x. There's a value that is not attached with an x. It's just a normal number. There's likely to be a y-intercept. And if there's a y-intercept, you got something that's non-proportional. So for number 11, you should have said B. I'm going to go through, I think, and I'm going to look at like number 12 with you guys as well because it's the same thing. And I don't know. I mean, I can finish C and D with you guys, but I don't want to lose your interest. I want you guys to stay interested in getting your guys' assignment right. And I don't think a lot of you guys made it to number 12. And since you didn't make it to number 12 today before the video cut off, I'm going to do, or before Go Guardian and class time was over, I'm going to do number 12 with you guys. So A looks like this. A says 7x plus 3y equals 0. Now be careful. 7x plus 3y equals 0. So now be kind of careful here. You guys are going to look at this and you're trying to solve for y. Okay. I'm going to move those 7x's to begin with. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to look at this as positive 7x. I'm just going to subtract 7x from both sides. So this minus this is going to wipe itself out. I'm going to bring down that 3y. And on this side over here, I got a minus 7x. And then I got that 0. You could put that in there if you guys would like. And I'm doing that right now just because it's a placeholder for you. So it keeps you guys all lined up. The last step here is, again, to get rid of that 3. That's a times. So I'm going to divide by 3 there and divide by 3 there. 3 divided by 3 is going to give me the 1y. On this side, a negative divided by a positive is a negative 7/3 x. And 0 divided by any number is just 0. It's just going to give me 0. And this one was asking for non-proportional. Since this is saying non-proportional, I'm thinking to myself that I want to, it's asking for me to find which one of the equations shows a non-proportional relationship. So non-proportional is I got to have a b value. So it cannot be 0. B can be anything, but it cannot equal 0. That's a good way to write that. Does not equal. That equals with a line through it. Since b equals 0, A is not my answer to that one. So I cannot answer A. You should skip A. We're going to go to B now. B says 3y equals 4x. 3y equals 4x. Oh, this one's easy. All I got here is I got a times, right? So there's a times. I have to undo times by dividing by 3 on both sides. So 3 divided by 3 is going to undo, and I'm going to have the y by itself. Over here, I have 4 divided by 3x, and there's no b. Since there's no b, that's like a 0, and that is proportional. When b equals 0, you have something that is proportional. It is not non-proportional. So this one is not my answer. So B is not what I was looking for. C, we're gonna go through, we're gonna look at C. I get to do a few of these. Hopefully after you guys see me do a few of these, you guys are feeling pretty good about this. So I got 7x minus 4 equals 3y. Again, don't let it flip you up at all, trip you up that they do the y on the right-hand side. You're just isolating the y. And what I have going on here is I have a times 3 times. I got to get rid of the 3. If I get rid of that 3, my y is lovely and all by itself. So 3 divided by 3, I yay, but I can't just do that. I have to divide by 3 here. Now, when I divide by 3 there, I have to make sure I do both pieces. I have to do that piece and this piece. I can't just leave it in this form. I have to take the 7x and divide it by 3, and I have to take the minus 4 and divide it by 3. So I have 7 divided by 3x minus negative divided by positive is a negative, 4 divided by 3. You guys don't have to do anything more simplified than that. You can identify a slope, you can identify b, and in this case, b equals negative 4 over 3, or minus 4 over 3. Since I have a b, it does not equal 0, c is non-proportional. So my answer should have been C. This is the happy one because I have a value for B. Since there is a y-intercept, this one, and it does not equal 0, it equals negative 4 over 3, I got something that's non-proportional. So you guys should have answered C for number 12. Let me see. I might look at one more with you guys, and then we'll wrap it up, okay? So I'm going to do this last one, number 15 I'm going to do with you guys really quick. And then I think that leaves you guys with 3, 4. Oh, it leaves you guys with 5 to do on your guys' own. That might be a little bit tricky, but if you guys need some more help, I will help. I just don't want to overkill you guys. So I'm going to do number 15 with you guys. This one's looking for proportional. Since we're looking for proportional, what you guys are looking for is when b equals 0. So we're trying to find when b equals 0. So I have 4x plus 3 equals 4y minus 5. Again, I'm trying to just solve this for y. It doesn't matter if the y is on the right, the left, or the right. I got to get rid of all of this stuff. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add that 5. We get rid of that number attached to the y because addition, subtraction comes first, then multiplication, division. So if I add 5 there, I have to add 5 there. So minus 5 plus 5 undoes, and I can bring down my 4y. On this side, the plus 5, when I have 4 x's and then I got 3 sitting over here plus 5, these two are like terms. Since these two are like terms, I can add the 3 and the 5. I can't do anything with that 4x. That 4x is just going to come down. 3 plus 5 gives me 8. So there's when I combine these two like terms. When I combine those like terms, I get an 8. My last step is to undo this time. So I'm going to divide by 4 there, and I'm going to divide by 4 there. So I bring down, this is 4 divided by 4, which is y. And then over on this side, I got 4x. You guys got to remember, we got to do both pieces. So I have to do this, and I have to do this. So I got to do the 4x divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is just going to be like a 1. So all I get there is just an x. And then I got to do the 8 divided by 4. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I got x plus 2. So my slope in this case is just a 1. And my b equals 2. Well, since I have a b, this one's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for when b equals 0. This time I got b equals 2. So a is not my answer. That was kind of a tricky one. I'm glad I stuck around and did number 15 with you guys because you had some like terms. I hope you guys remember like terms from last year. 8x equals 2y plus 5. This is letter B. Let's see if this one's proportional or non-proportional. I got to get the y by itself. First thing I'm going to do is subtract that 5 off of both sides. So I bring down the 2y because plus 5 minus 5 undoes each other. On this side, I have 8x minus 5. I cannot combine those. The only way I could do it is if it was 5x. 8x's minus 5x is 3x's. But I can't do this because this has no x's to it. They're not like terms. I have 8 of these unknowns over here, and then I got the number 5 over here. I can't just go and subtract those. So now my last step here, you guys, is there's a times here. So I have to undo times by divide. I got to divide by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is going to give me my y. And then remember, over here, I got to do both sides. I have to do the 8x divided by 2 and then the minus 5 divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so I have 4x. And then the minus 5 divided by 2. So I can't simplify that at all. So it's just going to stay minus 5 divided by 2. So now when I come over, I got mx plus or minus b. And so my b in this case is minus 5 over 2. Since b actually equals something, it does not equal 0. This is not my answer. This is non-proportional. This is going to go through the y-axis at negative 5 over 2. So that one does not work. That is not going to be my answer. B is not correct. Okay, we're going to go to C. C says 5x minus 2y equals 0. Now the y is on the left-hand side. Don't let it mess you up. It can be on either side. You're still following the same process. I'm going to remove the 5x's to begin with. So the 5x minus 5x is gone. I have a minus 2y equals minus 5x. And you can put that 0 in there if you like. It's up to you guys. The last step to this one, same thing we've been doing, is you're going to have to divide by negative 2 on both sides. So divide by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is going to give me my y. And then the last thing I got to remember is I have to divide that term by negative 2 and this term by negative 2. I have to do both. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I have 5 over 2x. And then 0 divided by anything is just 0. And I can write that 0 in there if you want, or you don't have to. mx plus b. So I got b equals 0. Since b equals 0, here's my lucky answer. This is the one I want. This is the one that makes me happy. That's the one that is proportional since b equals 0. So there is number 15. I would have to agree with you guys that these ones seem like they're the hardest ones. I don't want to keep going because you guys had a long video today and this one was already 25 minutes. So I'm going to leave you guys with this as just kind of a quick little practice and kind of more examples and more review. If you guys need more examples, I can do these and post them in Google Classroom whenever you guys would like. Reach out to me and let me know, and they're optional. Like, you guys can look at them, take notes. I always can tell if you guys are following along and taking notes because I give you the answers. So you guys usually always get these ones right, which is amazing. So thank you guys for reaching out to me. Thank you guys for communicating with me. I don't always know where the bigger questions are going to come up. And I would have maybe thought if I was throwing a dart at a dartboard that you guys would have questioned the tables, but you guys had more questions on this one. So I'm glad I waited. So let me know if you guys need anything. I'm here. I appreciate everything. It was so great to see you guys. I'll see you guys again on Monday. Thanks.